I've been in the industry now for close to 3 decades.
Okay.
And I've witnessed different stages of growth of the insurance industry.
Can you enumerate that?
Okay. Many years back, we have a lot of insurance companies, but the production in terms of the premium income generated annually, it's very, very low.
Okay.
But now we have fewer insurance companies, and the production, it's increased over 1,000% to date. You know, that's why I said I will not agree with you 100%. But I will still agree with you on one point, because when you compare what we do with our counterparts in Africa, then you know that we still have a long way to go. Not even the other continents of the world. In Africa alone, we are not doing as much as the giants of Africa that we're supposed to be doing.
But all right, but the insurance industry itself is not at its infancy. It's been around for a long time in Nigeria. So why the slow pace of its development over time?
Well, there are so many reasons that account for that. It's just like when you are talking of insurance industry in Nigeria, you cannot talk about the industry. You cannot isolate what is happening in the larger society from, you know, the insurance industry. Insurance industry is just a sector of all the other sectors within the industry. So if you want to talk about that and not talk about the other factors, then what we're getting may not be as accurate as what you'll have expected to get.
Now, in certain circumstances, it's been reported that only 3% of Nigerian population actually tap into the insurance sector. Why this low patronage?
Well, it's the 3%. It's actually very correct, because
it's you know, it's an industry that has so much to offer. So
we have, on the estimate, maybe around 200 million population, and according to the statistics, only 3 million are engaged in insurance.
Yes.
Especially the retail product. Well, like I said earlier, which I'm going to emphasize again,
all right,
you cannot isolate the insurance industry from what is happening, you know, in the larger society. But one of the reasons that some of the things that accounts to that is because of the conservative nature of the way that the practitioners in time past have, you know, approached the business. But that has changed now, because you discover that insurance companies are now taking a more visible, you know, position, a more strategic position, you know, in the society.
Now, in terms of, just like you mentioned, the conservative aspect of it, does it also have to do with culture? Let's take a look at one of your sectors, for example, assurance, life insurance. You know, we're not seeing much activity there. There's a lot of, you know, I don't know if it's a culture thing, but Nigerians don't actually value, you know, life insurance. Fine, you have auto insurance and other aspects of, you know, insurance businesses. But in terms of life insurance, we don't see that much activity there.
Yes, I agree with you. We don't see that much impact visible. But, you know, underground, I can tell you a lot of things are going on. The life assurance companies, for example, they don't make so much noise, but they generate quite, you know,
okay, can you
society.
give us like a few examples?
Well, if you look at, well, am I allowed to mention specific
not specific names,
companies?
But at least, you know, in terms of their volumes of trade and in terms of their contribution to the insurance industry as a whole.
For example, about 6 or 7 years ago, the number of people that have one form of life insurance or the other, according to statistics, is less than 1 million. But today, it's about 3 million.
Wow.
And the number is still increasing by the day. And if you look at the drive for financial inclusion, life insurance play a very, very significant role in that area. And that's the expansion is going on. It may not be so obvious now, but a time will come that it will just explode, and what the conservative nature in which we are approaching the business, we will not be able to, not be able to do that again. And at that time, it will look like the insurance industry is flamboyant,
All right. Now, let's take a look at the performance of the insurance industry itself within the stock market, for example. Now, it's widely regarded as penny stocks, as they call it, and is only second to the banking industry. We consider disparity in terms of performance there as well. Now, in that regard, what should be done to encourage more investment in that sector within the equity market?
Yeah, thank you very much. That is one area, that needs much improvement as well. And the improvement that we need, it's more of the perception of the society on the stock of insurance companies. Yes. And if you look at, if you work with figures, facts and figures, you find out that most of the stocks of the insurance companies, they are exactly like many other, industries. Yes. There was a time we have all the stocks nosedive, the insurance stock too nosedive, and there was time that the thing was booming. If you go check the statistics, you find that it may not be as high as other sector, but when you look at it in terms of percentages, even insurance industry, we're even doing better. The insurance stocks were doing better than, others. You may not have the volume, but in terms of percentages, increase, returns, the insurance industry was, you can't say we are doing badly at all.
Very good. When you talk about perception, it's about how people react to